All right, let's take a look at some 4-point perspective. I'm turning my paper vertically for this, although you can still do it horizontally. And I'm going to start by taking my ruler and I'm going to be drawing a vertical axis through this, dividing my in half. And I'm also going to be doing horizon line, which is going to be also halfway through. So we are going to label VP1, VP2. We'll put our VP3 down here and VP4 up at the top. Although you could restructure the numbers if you want to. So I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be drawing some curved lines that connect 4, 3, and 4 together. Now, there are grids for these online. There are lots of tools you can use to make this look much better than what I'm going to. For this quick and simple demonstration, I'm just going to freehand them. So what I want to do is just go ahead and curve that line down. Just so you have like a subtle arch, subtle arc. And then as we get further away, it's going to pop out a little bit more. It's actually easier for me to draw the lines going this direction. All right, so something like this. Again, imagine it looks much nicer. Then what you can do if you want to, some people will draw some diagonal lines coming from vanishing points 1 and 2 to complete the full grid, but I'm actually not going to do that. I'm going to draw those lines as I draw the cubes. So this is similar to 2 and 3 point perspective, but you get a little bit of distortion because of that extra vanishing point. So usually what I do to start, and you can work in any quadrant and you can span, you can go across the grid as well. But for this first one, I'll just go in this upper left hand side, and I'm going to just draw directly on one of these curves like this. Then what I'm going to do is I need to find the top and bottom, and just like in 2 and 3 point perspective, I'm actually going to be bringing that back to the second and first vanishing point. Either order is fine. And for this demonstration, I will go ahead and draw the lines all the way there, but you can stop it where you want to. This one, because I'm so close to VP1, is going to be a very dramatic angle compared to VP2. Then you'll go ahead and repeat the bottom line. These side lines, you're actually going to be following the curve. So you can make up a curve where there isn't one and just imagine that, would extend to VP3 and 4. But you can also draw it directly on one of the existing lines you drew. Then we're going to see a little bit of the bottom. So we're going to return to that same process we did in 2 and 3 point, where we do the crossing of the lines. And you can draw that all the way back to the vanishing points, or you can go ahead and just stop it where it's going to end anyway, so you have less to erase. Then same thing here, I can go ahead and erase these, or I can keep those lines and use them. If I wanted to create boxes going back in space, or there can be different reasons to leave these lines for a little bit longer. But for the sake of this demonstration, we'll go ahead and just get rid of them now. And then what's good practice is just trying placing boxes in different sizes around the page to see what it looks like in the different quadrants. Also, I think it's nice to see what they look like when you span over the top and bottom of the horizon line, just how it changes the amount of sides that we see because it's eye level to us. But when something is above the horizon, we have that effect where we can look up at it. It's often referred to as worm's eye. It's like this one where you can see the bottom. And we'll do one where we can see the top as well, which is referred to as bird's eye, like you're soaring above the building and you're looking down and you can see the rooftop. Once again, if things are opaque, solid, you would not see anything through here. So that's why, again, it's nice to keep things nice and light, and then you can start erasing. But you can also imagine it see-through if you want and keep some of those lines. All right, let's go ahead and draw one down here. And I'll just show you too. You can make up a line and just imagine it's again following that same curve. Mine's a little off just because I'm freehanding it like this, but again, you get the idea. So we're bringing the top to VP 1 and 2. Again, I'm not going all the way, especially with the grid. I would erase so much of it anyway by going all the way across, so it's just easier to stop it. Something like that. Then at this point, if you want, you can close off the sides. You're going to have a less distortion the closer you get to the center axis. So I can illustrate that too, what it'd look like if you put one directly over the middle. Finish this one up here a minute. And I can erase that little grid going inside now if I want to, what it would look like over the center. So of course I can just use that center line, pick a top and bottom. So that's going to have the least amount of distortion, depending on how far it comes out. But you're only going to see the two sides of it. Something like that. Then I can erase something like that. And then you can go ahead and fill up the space if we want to.